agradeceros vuestra asistencia y como Fernando y Camila hoy no han podido estar aquí, pues yo voy a tener el placer de presentar a Ahmed. Él es licenciado en el Departamento de Arquitectura de la Facultad de Diseño en Arabia Saudita. La universidad se llama Rey Abdul Aziz. Okay. Tiene también un máster de conservación arquitectónica en Edimburgo, en la Universidad de Edimburgo, en el Centro Escocés de Estudios de Conservación. Y actualmente es estudiante de doctorado, tiene una beca del Ministerio de Arabia Saudí para hacer su doctorado y entonces hace el doctorado allí y aquí, hace estancias largas aquí y también allí. Entonces Fernando y Camila son sus directores también aquí de tesis, ¿vale? Es un poco de nuestra familia. Y nada, os dejo ya con él, que os cuente un poco sus experiencias sobre la arquitectura de tierra en Arabia y ya está, espero que os guste.
Sí, gracias, Lidia. Okay, today we're going to talk about earth architecture in Saudi Arabia with some documentation and some adaptation methods.
¿Qué tal? ¿Entendéis?
Bueno.
I will translate just
Okay.
parts. I will.
Okay. So my presentation today divided into several parts. That I'm going to talk about about earth architecture in Saudi Arabia, focusing in some part of urban fabric, with some climate and effects to the earth architecture design, and focusing about two materials, which is Adobe and Cob in Saudi Arabia.
¿Cómo es Cob?
Cob, it's Cob.
Adobe y Cob.
Adobe and Cob. With the two case study about the Dir'iyya and the Asir city. Okay.
Dos casos de estudios, los que ponen en la slide.
Bueno. So in Saudi Arabia, we have a very different topography that lead to the country has a several vernacular architecture that depends on the areas.
¿Qué tal? Sí, fantástico.
Bueno. In the west side, it's a mountain zones. So most of cities at the west side use a stone material.
Yeah, I think they understand almost
Okay, perfect.
Yes,
so
we asked before.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not translating. I just translate
Okay,
the
but just
technical words.
Okay, in the middle part, they use a Adobe material, and in the southwest they use a Cob material. Okay, except in the coastline cities, they use coral stone materials. Okay. Coral limestone. Use.
Piedra caliza.
Okay. Okay. So in my speech, I'm going to focus about Najd, which is located in the middle of the country, and the Asir, which is just located southwest of the country. Actually, during 50 years ago, most of this urban fabric nearly demolished. Okay, so that's because of the bombing of oil resources in 1970. So that's caused a huge impact to the urban fabric.
The oil
Okay. Okay.
La extracción de petróleo.
Petroleum.
Un impacto y entonces por eso se han ido destruyéndose.
Yeah. So the government focused to rebuild the new infrastructure, focusing in the modern methods. Okay, fine. So the heritage urban fabric impact in this part, so they lead to lose their architectural characters and lose the construction technique, and even the culture, the historical culture nearly lose it, the society.
que con las construcciones, con las técnicas contemporáneas se iban perdiendo también técnicas y la cultura relacionada con.
So generally, the earth characters is very simple in Najd region. It's just adobe material with the limestone base and covered with mud renders.
La arquitectura tradicional es muy simple, el zócalo de piedra, el muro de adobes y han sido los revestimientos de barro.
No. So let's move on and talk about the urban fabric. As you can see, it's detached houses. That's common normally in all Arab worlds. Okay. Yeah. So. Okay. Clear?
Yes, it seems so.
Okay. Yeah.
Habéis entendido, ¿no?
Yeah. So this design is a common in Islamic world. So it's not a diagonals style. It's a kind of it's not tidy design. So you can see here in the first picture that the main road appear within the urban fabric. And here in these blocks show how the solid and voids. I mean, what is the open area in each blocks. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this style has a lot of benefit to the villages. That's a safe, comfortable environment for the resident, and make shadows. And lighting to the village. So you can see if you look to the as you can before. Okay, here. It's a kind of the whole village is in one building, you know, because it's detached houses.
Que todo el pueblo es como un único construcción, un único edificio.
Sí. So I could
mantiene el clima, el confort, la sombra.
So I could divide that the open spaces in the urban fabric to 4 parts. That's the public spaces, which normally use at the market in the city center, or as a main plaza in front of the mosque. Okay. And the second part is the semi-public space. Mosquita, see. And the semi-public space, which is normally used for a specific products, as a market for the specific product, like vegetables or. And semi-private space. Okay.
¿Hablas inglés? ¿Entiendes inglés?
Vale.
Porque estamos intentando traducir lo menos posible para que esto vaya más rápido y parece que todo el mundo sabe inglés, entonces voy traduciendo solamente algunas partes.
And semi-private space, which is located normally around the 3 houses or 4 houses, and used only for these families. And the private space, which is located in the interior courtyard in the house. Mm-hmm. So there is a strong relationship between the pattern of the urbanism and environment of the desert. Okay. Okay. So that's really appear here that detached houses, and as I mentioned before, that shadows create shadows in the interior part and in the exterior pedestrian road. Okay, and moreover, the ventilation and lighting. So the main concept of the houses in Najd has a courtyard, interior courtyard. So during the night, the cool air become in, and the morning, the cool air push the hot air. So that's a kind of adaptations. So let's move on, talk about Dir'iyah, which is the main important historical zone in Saudi Arabia. It's just located in Riyadh, in northwest of Riyadh. Okay, so it divided into two main parts, which is the Dir'iyah in the south, and Al-Bujayri, just located in the north. And you can see here in the middle of the photos, there is the valleys called Hanifa.
Un valle en el medio.
A valley.
And the names, it's a little bit a problem. But
Okay, valleys, yeah. So this region actually is owned by the royal family when they established in the country in 1920. Okay? Okay, perfect. So let's move on. So Ad-Dir'iyah, divided as I mentioned in the south, is called Turef. It's listed as a World Heritage Site, but this zone in the north is called Al-Bujayri, is all constructed in concrete, covered by mud brick. Mud rendering.
Madrid.
Mud rendering, but it's concrete completely. So this photo shows how is
Que
it.
la parte del norte está construida con hormigón, simplemente con los revestimientos de barro.
No, okay. So let's talk about the architectural elements. As you can see, the design of Najdi houses is too simple. Doesn't has a lot of decorative elements. That's caused by their environment to protect the hot weather or the storm, sandstorm. Okay. Moreover, they are looking for privacy. Okay. So you can see the windows here is too small. Actually, it's used only for ventilation, with a lot of decoration elements. A unit of Najdi houses, as I mentioned, too simple. In the middle part there, the internal courtyard surrounded by narrow corridors, and the narrow corridors leads to, rooms. Normally, the ground level used for the guests, and the upper level used as bedrooms for the families. So this section shows how is the house is it in the section. It's very simple, just a courtyard and a corridor. In this photo, you can see how is the symbol of arches. In Najdi, in central of Saudi Arabia, doesn't affect to other civilization. So it's just close to each other. So they didn't gain a lot of other feature to the region.
Que en el centro de Arabia Saudí no han tenido influencias respecto a las zonas exteriores, y entonces no hay características importadas de
Sí.
fuera.
Okay. And this photo shows how the details of the column. The column is built by limestone materials, which is available in the local, and
Caracteriza la columna.
I see. And the main beams built by a type of timbers called tamarisks, and even the joist.
Even that?
Joist.
Joist.
Joist, yeah. And above it, the next level, which is a palm leaf, put it above the joist, and after that, a layer of the mud, render mixture for 15 centimeter, and keep it to dry up for 10 days, and put one more level of mud.
Vale, las vigas principales y las viguetas son de madera, de un tipo de madera house called
Limestone.
the wood.
Tamarisk.
Tamarisk.
Tamarisk, yeah. It's a local timber. Yeah.
Y luego hay una capa de hoja seca y luego 15 centímetros de una capa de barro que se deja secar durante 10 días y luego se superpone otra capa de barro.
This photo shows how is the crown of the column. You can see, as I mentioned, it's just too simple. Some houses use, as I mentioned, is the palm leaves. Some houses use the stone slabs, which normally cause a lot of problem there because of its weight. Okay.
Hojas de palmera y en el medio lajas de piedra que traen problemas por su peso.
In part of opening windows is too small with the small decorative elements. Actually, this decorative is not from Najd. It's they gain this decorative from outside of Najd. Okay, from Asir. But originally, Najd doesn't have this painting stuff, even in the door. The original door is this one in the left side. This is the original door of Najd in the Sultan zone. Other more important feature in Najdi house, this kind of window is called in Arabic malgaf. It's window. It's actually located just above the entrance and normally used for the family to know who is coming. You can see here a small gap in this part, just to look who's coming. Okay. So that's the privacy affect a lot in Najdi houses. Moreover, in the central of Saudi Arabia, they use the cob only in part of a city wall. You can see here. This is the cob. The only decoration element just in the above part, this element is very simple. They build it by Adobe, historically. Okay. Moreover, if the owner has two houses, he will be able to build a kind of bridges between houses. It's called in Arabic sakifa, just to link their houses. But it's a good idea that to create a kind of shadows and to cover the pedestrian path. It's a creative idea. Moreover, so let's move on to the next part, talking about Asir, which is located in southwest of Saudi Arabia. Asir actually has a lot of topographical zones. In the west zone is the coastline, and the middle is the mountainous zone. It's absolutely rainy in the whole year, and the east part, which is the hill, just look at, and the east of it is the desert. So this is a small zone containing a lot of vernacular architecture. So in the west, they use the stones. In the middle, use the stone and cob material. And the east, they use the cob material. This style of earth architecture used in the mountain zones. They use in the ground level, they use the stones, and the first and the second level, a cob material, and put a stone slab every 40 centimeter. So this is the creative idea to protect the building against the water or because of the rainy areas.
Y en la pared de mano insertan una laja de piedra cada 40 centímetros para proteger de las intempéries. La que se ve en sección en horizontal, esas son lajas de piedra que insertan así que el agua fluye.
Así. Okay. And the wall.
En montaña esto.
En montaña, zona de montaña, sí. Other kind is also a cow building. We call it Midmak, located in the hill part, in the east part of Asir. It's nearly same as the other one, but this one without a stone slab. But when they layer each level of the, you can see here, of each level, they create a lower part of the level thicker than the upper level. So that you can see how it's, this part has a bit move out.
Que esta es estas construcciones de la parte donde están las colinas y no insertan la piedra, pero hacen cada nivel de manera que la parte baja de ese nivel sea más ancha que la parte de arriba, y entonces esa sección es lo que sale con la misma función.
It's thicker around 10 centimeters.
Y la diferencia es 10 centímetros.
It even has a feature that to protect the building against the water. Okay. Because of the Asir environments and plants, so the local know the colors and use in their building from the plants. So most of women use this feature to design their houses, and it's originally from Africa and exported in the history, but I don't know when is it exactly. So the construction methods. So in this part, I'm going to talk about the dir'iyya, which is recently have been working in it. So the main material historically is adobe, but recently they use a compressed earth block, okay, with the limestone and Timurex timber. So the construction of the main structure is simple with the limestone and build it to above the ground level, 50 centimeter above the ground level, and the rest of it is with the adobe, with compressed earth block.
Sí, el compressed earth block son BTCs.
Yeah. So during the 50 years ago, a lot of groups who specialize in conservation came and do their own methods of conservation techniques. So you can see how the block layers here is completely different than others. Okay, so
each level was made with by a different.
Different during 50 years ago.
50 años, diferentes grupos vinieron de fuera y intentaron sus propias técnicas de construcción, y yo le pregunté cada nivel que se ve en la foto.
So it's really hard to know what is the best technique that's used historically. So for that reason, the government during 5 years ago tried to solve this problem and to find a good solution for conservation. Okay. So recently they used this technique. The first step, as I mentioned, they use the compressed earth block, and like as you can see, and they use what I can say, a timber stick like this from the Timurex plants, and covered with bitumen.
Cubierto de betumen.
Bitumen, and use it within the wall, as you can see during the construction. That to reduce the strength, tensile strength.
Para ayudar con las tracciones,
Tensile strength, yeah.
Es siempre el mismo árbol de antes, el tamaris.
Sí. Yeah, tamarisk.
Que os lo escribís y los lo vais a buscar porque yo tampoco tengo ni idea.
It's a local plants.
It's
Local plants, yeah. Actually, it's called in Arabic athil. It's different. Athil, yeah. So no personal. So let's move on to talk about how do they make a compressed block. So they brought the soil from the local valley, Hanifa Valley. It's just located north of Dir'iyya. Mix it with the straw, and they add 5 to 6% of cement to the mixture.
Entre 5 y 6% de cemento le añade al mix para hacer el BTC y ese es el del primer sitio. Entonces la tierra la cogen del valle que dividía las dos partes de las que habló antes. Y paja.
In details, we can say that's 50 kilos of straw, mix it with 1 cube meters of local earth, and mix with water around 1.5 cubic meters. Okay. Okay. So after that, leave it for fermentation. That took around 2 to sometimes to 2 months. Okay, for fermentation.
2 months.
Yeah, from 2 weeks.
From 2 weeks.
2 weeks to 2
2
months.
semanas y 2 meses para que se fermente.
Yeah. And after that, of course, molded it by the compressed earth block machine. And this is the result of the earth mixture. You can see it's too black.
Ese es el resultado después de la fermentación, que es negro.
That's because of the fermentation of the straw. That lead to the mixture becomes too black.
Y es por la fermentación de la paja.
Okay.
Que se convierte en negro.
Yeah, this is a mixture that increase the cellulose of the materials.
Increase the cellulose.
Cellulose, yeah.
Aumenta la celulosa en el material.
Okay.
You use this for to make the.
They use it.
Or for the
Okay, they use it to create the compressed earth block,
Okay.
and use it to as a mortar, and use it as a rendering material.
Para todas las cosas.
Para
hacer
todas,
los
yeah.
PTCs, para hacer el mortero y para hacer el acabado superficial.
Yeah, you can see how do they use it as a mortar here.
Tierra con paja y agua.
Y cemento.
Y cemento.
Cemento,
De
sí.
5 a 10% de cemento.
De cemento.
Sí. During the time the cement set.
Yeah, they wet it. They wet it. Yeah.
They add water.
Yeah, add water.
Que añaden agua periódicamente.
Yeah. Okay. So you can see how do they render it, the building. So when they put it, it looks black. When it dry up, it become totally earth colors.
Que cuando lo aplican se ve negro y luego cuando se seca el color se vuelve a convertir en color de la tierra.
No, while they mix it. Yeah, while they mix the material, they put the cement. Yeah. Okay. So finally, in some part, especially in conservation method, in some method they don't accept a cement to add to the earth architecture. Yeah, earth construction, but that's because of that cause a block to the material. They can't breathe. The building can't breathe.
In which cases they don't accept the use of
Because here is adding the cement in Saudi Arabia, in the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
En algunos casos no aceptan la utilización del cemento porque hace de impermeabiliza y no hace que transpire los bloques.
Okay. Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And maybe the times when they don't use the cement, can they use a lime as a stabilizer?
Yeah, that's why I'm doing my research. Okay, so in my result that I found the lime is the best solution used in this case. Yeah, it's available in the area. But they worried about, the government of Riyadh, they had scared of other material. They only accept cement. They love cement, They trust the cement. For that reason, they put 5%. of cement. In the first part, they don't accept by UNESCO. But the percentage of 5% is acceptable by UNESCO. That's the reason.
Ok, si ha entendido que teóricamente...
Yeah.
Esperada el micro que hay que
Yeah.
grabar.
Sorry. There is any normative for regulate this kind of constructions? Current normative.
This is cool.
There are any standards, written standards,
About this material.
about how to build.
Yeah, there is several resources done by the government as well. There's one book called Back to Earth. Back to Earth, name the book. It's done by William Forsyth. Yes, who's that?
And is the one that is followed?
Yeah,
by the
followed,
most-
exactly,
by the
followed.
most-
Yeah, but the William Forsyth took this technique from the local master builder. It's called Hamid. He is the last generation of the local master builder. And he took this technique from them. But actually, historically, they didn't put cement. They just fermented it with earth and straw, and that's it.
And another question. Can you repeat the percentages for its material for make this kind of...
The soil, the water, the straw. How is the proportion?
Yeah, it is one a moment to be more clear. Yeah, 50 kilos of straw.
50 kilos de paja.
Mix it with 1 cubic meters of local earth mixture, soil
Un metro cubo de tierra.
from the valley, and 1.5 cubic meters of water.
Y un metro cubo y medio de agua.
Yeah, exactly. And mix it with 5 to 6% of cement.
Adding water.
5 to 6%.
Me equivoqué yo, entre 5 y 6%.
Yeah, not specifically. Yeah.
Adding water bit for a bit.
No, while they mix it.
Only this time.
Yeah, and during 2 weeks or a month, when it's become dry, they just
Okay,
wait it up.
thank you.
Yeah,
Un cemento.
cemento.
Entre 5 y 6%. Creo que yo antes dije 10, pero es 6.
Yo tengo otra pregunta.
Mm.
A ver, entonces la tradición de la zona era construir con adobe. ¿He entendido
Adobe.
eso? Con adobe.
Yeah.
Y cuando se decide empezar a construir con BTCs, ¿porque se consideran mejores?
They trust it. They trust the material.
When they started to use...
They start to use it while they working in Diriyah 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Y
But-
¿quién los produce? Porque los adobes los puede producir mucha gente, pero los BTCs son producidos artesanalmente o hay empresas.
Hay empresas.
Hay empresas.
Hay empresas. Yeah.
Are they local companies or
O
the
de outside.
No.
O sea, o
compressed rock
empresas
come from
de fuera.
outside?
There is American companies. They are came as a sponsor for all this project, but the local work,
Okay,
the
so-
technical work by the local
Okay, so
Yeah.
the American company bring like the
machine and recommend that to the government. So the government
So they
accept
bring
it.
the machine on site
Yeah, on
and
site.
build
Build.
By local
Yeah.
by
workers.
local workers.
By local workers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they train them and work. Yeah.
Okay. ¿Alguna otra pregunta? Sí, el paso.
¿Hacen algún tipo de ensayo en laboratorio para testear esos materiales antes de ponerlos en obra?
So they've done some tests in the laboratory before.
Yeah, there is
Site.
some yeah. In the same book as I told you, is in detail. In
¿El libro
detail.
está accesible desde internet?
No.
Vaya.
No.
¿Y algún modo para encontrarlo?
Yeah, I bought it from my country for that.
Okay, so-
I'll give you a copy. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's possible to find the book just there, or like
I think it's available online.
online? Okay.
Try to search. Maybe you will find.
I will. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
That's
Thank you very
it.
much.
Gracias.
Gracias a todos por venir y espero que os haya gustado.
Thank you.